Hey guys, it's me. Massive content warning on this episode. We talk a lot about suicide, suicidal ideation, and there's a brief mention of gun violence. Just please take care when listening. Welcome to Podcast Land.
Welcome to our home.
Hello.
My name's Miss Redacted.
I'm Frost.
She does not have COVID currently.
Nope. Still coughing though. Enjoy that.
We have a guest today. I will allow them to introduce themselves. Who are you?
Hi, I am Anna Sutter, also known as Anna M. Sutter on TikTok.
Woohoo!
You quit, you taught. Where are we?
Tell us everything.
I used to be a school counselor for 5 years in the largest junior high in Indiana. I had a total of over 1,800 7th and 8th grade students that were in that junior high, which was absolutely ridiculous. And I did that thing where I quit in the middle of the year, like without any notice.
They deserved it.
I was like, you know what? I'm out, actually. I'm done with this. Gave 2 weeks notice. I posted like one TikTok like, oh, you can quit too. I quit. You can quit. We can all quit.
Life hack.
I know. Guess what? Like, I was like, fuck all this. Fuck the status quo. Like, I'm quitting. I'm out. Here's why. And that video hit 2 million views. So I was like, oh shit. People like what I have to say and I'm going to keep saying it. So that was like over a year ago and I'm still making TikToks. And that's when you guys connected with me.
I'm not over the 1,800 junior high schoolers. I think I would max out around having to deal with the needs of maybe 4. I feel like I could really solidly serve 4 kids. So I'm trying to imagine 1,800 people.
Yeah. Granted, there were 3 school counselors. So 3 school counselors for over 1,800 people. My caseload was 625.
It's like a TEDx event. That in and of itself, you should just have to TED Talk everything.
Not only over 600 7th and 8th graders, also 600 sets of parents who also had a lot of needs. I had to balance like, hey, guess what? I know you called me 7 times about your kid having a B- in social studies, but I have about 5 kids wanting to kill themselves. So I'm not going to get to you about
Priorities.
You're like, I think a B-,
Yeah.
we should be counting our blessings.
I know.
Always in this life, you can look at what's wrong or what's right. So I'm going to look at what's wrong, and you're going to focus on what's right, which is your situation.
Exactly. I was like, guess what? I can't clone myself. I can't just copy and paste myself everywhere. So I have to prioritize kids, which gets a little awkward.
Yeah, no one wants to feel like their kid is like, I know this isn't your intention, but like not important or like doesn't have enough problems to get help. But when you're the person in the situation with having to deal with 600 children and their parents, like you said, you're not Dolly the sheep. You have to, there's one of you.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
a reference. Fuck. That was a nuance.
If you don't know what I'm referring to, clearly you didn't pay enough attention in 9th grade biology class. Dolly the sheep is a sheep that they cloned, and it was the first successful cloning thing that they did.
Most people just say, I can't clone myself.
Why would you say something that everyone can understand when you could say something that only 4% of the population might vaguely understand?
This is why I love you. If only I could be Dolly the sheep.
If only I can. I'm going to get that tattooed on my body, Redacted.
She's pretty. You can put the picture of her as the tattoo.
Okay, even better.
Beautiful sheep. They keep her so clean.
Well, they weren't going to clone a shitty one.
Have you seen sheep? Most of them are literally shitty. Well, not shitty. They're muddy. Anyways.
So yeah, 625 kids. It was a lot. And my last year, I was the director of the department. So I was like department chair for the school counseling department. And I'd be like, yo, this is not sustainable. We cannot do this. Like, I am not able to keep these kids safe and like let alone alive. Like, what do you want me to do? And I would like collect data. Oh my God, so much. They love saying collect data.
That's their favorite shit to say.
I know. Well, if we had the data to show the need, I'm like, okay.
Oh my God, Anna, my skin, it crawls.
You're like, the child's right here. I think the need, like, he's right there.
And on one hand, I completely understand. Data collection is there to protect vulnerable populations. And I understand that in the past, before that was like a rule or a law, that was a huge issue that we were just willy-nilly assessing. And then people were letting their biases creep in. I do understand.
Word.
However, I still get really frustrated when I feel like I have demonstrated the need and for 7-8 months, we're still saying collect that data. Collect the data.
Yeah. So I heard it for 5 years.
Oh my God.
I was jumping through hoops right and left. I talked to everybody in my school district, like my assistant principal, school board, superintendent, all the assistant superintendents, district administration, the financial person for the district. Like I was like, please help.
Yeah, please. I had a kid, and every single goddamn time we would do something on the computer,
take it out, man.
He would lose at Kahoot, and I would pick up his entire Chromebook as he was cocking his fist back. I was like, nope. And they were like, collect data. And I'm like, I don't know how to prove to you that he is struggle busing. And it got to the point where I had to like bring his mom and his dad and him into a room and have like a little trust circle with them, because I was like, we need to figure this out. And I don't know how to get him counseling, but you know what? Let's Google some stuff together. I don't know.
And like half of my job as a school counselor was just trying to figure out how to meet their needs too. Cause they're like, oh, I'm homeless. And I'm like, let me try to figure out how to get you. I don't like, you know, it's like a lot of stuff is just societal issues that like we're just choosing not to fix. And then we're blaming the school counselors and the teachers for like not fixing these societal problems.
It's always so frustrating when like you figure out that there is a societal problem causing an issue for a student. I had a kid who was chronically tardy and absent, and then the admin was like, call the parents and figure out what's going on. So I did, and they were just telling me about, they had transportation issues. I won't go into the details of it, but you know how it goes. And then I was like, yeah, that would make sense that you would be late to school all the time in that situation. And so then I went and told the admin, and they were like, yeah, you just got to reiterate to them, like, school has to be a priority and make sure to get here on time. And I was like, okay, for sure. I don't really think like the mental barrier is a problem here. Like, I think me and them are pretty aligned. Like, they seemed equally as stressed.
Yeah, no, it was pretty ridiculous. Like the big piece of information that I had during my last year that I kind of dropped on them, and they were really mad that I had this data and this information. But I proved that the school counseling needs of students rose by over 700% between August of 2020 and August of 2021. And they were mad.
Why would that make them mad?
They were so mad.
It doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah, the district financial guy was like, I don't know where you got these numbers. This isn't accurate. I'm like,
we don't even really need data to just see that it's happening. So the fact that there's data is such a gift. I do not understand why they would be pissed about that. Did they tell you anything? Were they like...
They said that my data wasn't accurate because August 2020, we were hybrid, so only 50% of the kids came each day. But I was like, still, 700% is a little bit more significant.
It's a pretty
than just
good
like,
sample size, too. If you have, how many did you say, 1,800 kids? Your sample size of half of that is still pretty good.
Yeah. No, it was pretty crazy. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I got in really, really big trouble for that because I didn't know how to play politics of education and I wasn't playing the game. My principal sat me down and was like, I questioned putting you in this leadership position because I thought you would pull stunts like that.
Like advocating for students? What a stunt.
If advocating for students is a stunt, then fucking call me Simone Biles.
My name's Anna Sutter and welcome to Jackass.
No, that's how it felt. I was like, wait a second. I felt like I was a Looney Tune, man. I was like, okay. Am I going to get fired for doing my job? Like now I'm confused.
These typical counselors trying to get services for the children. I should have known that was your plot with this promotion all along.
That's exactly like, it was as if I was being like methodical, like, mwah, ha, ha, ha. Like, it was so confusing. And it was just a total, it was so weird. Towards the end, right before I decided to resign, I was going to try to make it to the end of the school year at least. And I couldn't. I fucking couldn't. I was like, so my mental health was, I wasn't eating. I couldn't eat during the day. I was getting into my office at like 3:30 in the morning, 4 in the morning.
That's not the morning, unfortunately. That's the middle of the night. I don't know who lied to you.
That's airport time.
Yeah, it was shitty. I had, and unfortunately, like, I don't want to talk too much about my specific leadership, but I had leadership who did not care, period. Just like, I told them, I was like, I can't do my job, man. I can't sustain this. And I was like, one of these kids is going to end up really not okay. And I'm going to feel really guilty about it. And they're like, well, it's not your fault if something happens. And I'm like, but you're telling me it is actually. Like, that's not.
They were like, it will be your fault in the sense that we will shift any legal liability off of us onto you. But in the context of your emotions to not quit, then it's not your fault.
That part. And I called them out on it. Like, I called it, oh my God, guys, you're going to fucking freak out.
I'm so excited.
I called them out on it. This would have been like November of my last school year. I sent an email to one of the assistant superintendents who was kind of overseeing the school counselors. I also sent it to the district mental health specialist. So 2 people at the school district office, I emailed them and said, yo, like my school social worker just quit, right? Because we're only paying her $32,000. A lot of my counselors are out. So it's just me and another counselor with 1,800 students. I'm not doing well. I need help, blah, blah, blah. The assistant superintendent replied all within 5 minutes and said, thanks for the update, exclamation point.
Absolutely not.
Thanks for the update. No, it gets better.
Oh, the fucking little auto, like, they love that little suggested reply. They probably hit that on every email, not even reading the first one.
And the next week, I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, The next week, we had a district school counselors meeting where she was going to be there. And I was just shitty. I was just like this, just like shitty. So mad. And afterwards, she goes, hey, Anna, can I talk to you for a second? I'm like, yeah, for sure. I come walking up to her and she goes, hey, I hope you weren't offended by my email that I sent you the other day. And I said, oh, I absolutely was offended, for sure. Like, I said it exactly like that. Like, oh, no, I was offended. I was like, it was a pretty shitty response.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like we are all on a sinking ship and I'm drowning and I can't, this is a sinking ship on fire. And she goes, and I quote, well, at least we're all on the same ship, huh? And I said, wrong. And I said, if we are on the same ship, you guys have access to a lifeboat and you guys are shoving my head underwater. That's what you're doing.
Hell yeah.
And I said, a student is either going to die or something really bad is going to happen, like a safety concern, and I'm not going to catch it. And you guys are going to throw me under the bus. Like, I've seen it happen. And she was like, no. That's what school lawyers, our school attorney is for.
Okay, but then there's a dead kid. The attorney can't fix that.
She really said, I already thought of that and made a plan, but thanks anyway.
Was that the quiet part out loud?
Well, and here's the thing, is that's what happened my last year. I'm not trying to stigmatize mental health issues, but I was going I was very paranoid. I was very, on edge because they would do stuff like that where I'm like, wait, am I wrong here?
It's gaslighting.
Correct. It is gaslighting. Yeah, it was pretty shitty. And they did everything under the sun to tell me that I didn't need more school counselors. I was like, I am not doing well. Everybody knows I'm not doing well because of the fact my caseload's so intense. I'm working 12-hour days. Like, I can't sleep. I can't eat. I was losing weight. I'm pretty sure my assistant principals and my principal thought I was on drugs and that's why I was losing weight.
They're like, oh my God, did you see that Anna's on Ozempic? I wonder what doctor prescribed it to her.
I dropped 20, 30 pounds and the only person that noticed and said anything about it was my school nurse, who I loved my school nurse. She was a freaking godsend. But she was like, hey, are you okay? She came back from FMLA from her own situation. And she was like, I noticed that you lost a lot of weight. And she was like, it's okay if this job is super stressful, but we need to eat, we need to figure it out. And that same person that said we're both on the same ship and said, thanks for the update. At the end, I had one last conversation with her in the January of my last school year where it was a one-on-one. So we had no other people around. I thought, okay, I'm going to invite her to my office. I'm going to say again how desperate we are for additional school counselors. At that point, we hired a 4th counselor and she quit within a week.
She really was like, I've seen enough. I've taken a look around. I feel very informed. Best of luck to you people.
Exactly. And one of our community mental health providers, he said, I'm quitting and you should too. Everybody that quit would come tell me hey, I'm quitting and you need to get the fuck out of here. So I got a lot of warnings from people, which was nice. But that one-on-one with the superintendent, she came into my office, she closed my office door and she goes, you're drowning. That's all I hear is you're drowning. What do you want me to do about it?
No way.
She said
that to you?
Yeah. I was like, I said, I'm sorry. I had no clue what to do. And she was like, here's what you need to do. You need to strengthen your relationship with your building principal. She said, that's why I'm not doing well. It's because I need to strengthen my relationship with my building principal.
You're like, oh, let me just go get our fucking nails done together. That'll fix everything.
Yeah, girls' night. Yeah, let's do it. And then she said something like, I think this is happening because you care too much. You care a lot about the kids. And I'm like, let's pause.
They're just saying all the quiet parts, aren't they?
I know. I said, I did 5 suicide assessments yesterday. And I was like, I can't care about the kids less. in this situation. We're at the point where, like, if I cared less, I would be liable for something really not great and a kid's life would be lost. So, like, I'm not in a situation where I could care less. And guys, I was so desperate. Like, I was unwell, that's all I know. But I looked at her dead ass in the face and I said, this is the last time you're going to hear from me about advocating for students. I am no longer going to address this. I've been doing this for 5 years. She said all of my data didn't matter that I collected over the last 5 years. And it was as if, like, I was like, I think they want me to die. Like, I was like, right. I think they I was like, they don't fucking care, which is fine. I didn't need anybody to care.
But it's that level of disregard. It's not just that you feel that way. It's that they don't give a fuck if you die, if a kid dies. I am so sick and tired of people in general saying that they care about mental health, but only giving a fuck when it's an emergency because somebody has committed suicide.
Fucking thank you.
Or attempted suicide.
Thank you.
I'm so fucking tired of it. It's such an epidemic on social media, in our country, in our workplaces. Everybody boo-hoos and cries when somebody kills themselves. But then, okay, well, how did they get there? It's places like that being like, oh, you'll be fine.
Exactly. And I was upset about this too, because at the end of one of the school years, this was like the last couple of weeks of that school year, we had our like 57th or 58th student who was suicidal. And in this situation, I had another student email me after school hours, just saying like, hey, I'm worried about this student. Can you please call their parent and make sure they're okay? And I was on the phone with the mother on a cell phone when she walked into her kiddo attempting suicide, right? So I was on the phone after hours talking to this mother. She's on the phone screaming. We're calling 911 together. Like, it's awful. The next day, the principal calls me into the office to debrief about this situation after we had been begging for additional support at this point. And she was, I'm just really upset about what happened last night. I'm just really, really upset about it. And I said, I'm upset about it too, but I'm really curious why it took the 56th time for you to have this reaction. Like, this is the 56th time this school year that this has occurred.
How are you? So at night, you're taking that phone call and the next day you're at work. Yeah. That to me blows my mind. You should have been given the opportunity to stay home.
She actually, within the same breath, she threatened to write me up because she accused me of breaking FERPA.
Wait, FERPA?
When did FERPA enter this chat? What is she doing here?
I was like, I said, whoa. Let's back her up. And she brought up another situation that occurred like 2 weeks prior that it actually was not my error at all. It was one of our deans. But yeah, in the same breath. So the day after, one of my kids almost died. I was on the phone with the mom. We called 911. We figured it out. She wanted me to console her about being upset about the situation and also threatened to write me up because I allegedly broke FERPA, which I did not. I was like, I'm a school counselor. I did not break FERPA.
Oh my God.
Like,
I'm ill. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it was pretty shitty, guys. And like I would say as a school counselor, something I really want to make clear on the pod, like school counselors sometimes get a bad rap, especially in the media. Like no one loves to shit on school counselors more than a good movie, right? Like a movie where the school counselor, you know?
Yeah.
The guidance counselor didn't do their job,
it's like
right?
rappers with their teachers.
My favorite meme ever was the one where it was like, your teacher never said any of that shit. She just asked you to read in front of the class and you got mad.
No, like I just like, guys, can we chill? But yeah, no, I had a lot of serious situations. I had multiple kids overdose in school. I had a kid take pills on the way to my office and then tell me in my office that she had overdosed. There's some really horrible situations that occur, I guess. One thing that I do want to tell, like as a school counselor, I was voluntold to be on the crisis response team, and a part of my job was having to go out in the building during a potential threat and make sure there wasn't a school shooter there.
This is the second person that has told me that in their school, they as a teacher were expected to go investigate during a lockdown.
Our school resource officer came to the school and taught us how to round corners to avoid a semi-automatic weapon.
So I am anti-police forever, obviously, but with the amount of money that goes into the police department, I feel as though the school counselor is probably not the best resource for first response of a school shooting.
I was like, so wait a second. I have a radio. I carry a radio around. And I hear red team go, and then I have to leave my office, go upstairs into this huge ass building.
Unarmed.
Oh, completely unarmed. They said, make sure you turn your radio down so nobody can hear you coming.
No,
and like,
I'm fucking done.
And I like tiptoed. And the best part about this is we had to do it timed. It had to be under 3 minutes. We had to do it all under 3 minutes. And we fucking did this like over and over and over again. Like, red team, go. All right, let's go.
Are you on Navy SEAL Team 6? What is this?
I was like, yep, this is exactly what I went to grad school for.
Wipeout would be better training for this.
I mean, yes. And it was, if I disclosed any disapproval of this situation, I wasn't a team player. We all had jobs.
I hate the team player thing. I feel like the team player mentality is not even just an education plague. It's like just an overall workplace plague of where if anyone gets asked to do something that's obviously not within their responsibilities, they get to say, oh, are you not a team player? Like my job just fired the person, like they'd restructured and fired the position that works below me a lot. And then now we have to do a lot of things that with all the love in the world are below my pay grade. And they say, oh, are you not a team player? Everyone make sure you're not bringing ego into the situation. And I feel like all workplaces do that they will ask you to do something that is so violently outside of your responsibilities to the point that you are getting police officer training, probably like rolling on the ground doing duck and cover, like you're in the movie Taken.
I was like, what are we doing? And like, I remember calling my mom and she was like, wait a minute. She's like, what are you doing? And she's actually trained in first responder stuff. So she was like, you don't have any training. So this is what would happen. I had all the alerts on my personal phone.
Perfect. But turn it down.
Always the personal phone.
It was attached to the school system. So I would get an alert, a text, if somebody pulled the fire alarm. And then we had 3 minutes before that fire alarm sounded for me to go scope out my zone. And I'd have to be like, Sutter on our way to zone 7. And I would have to like turn down my radio and like quietly. And there was like 10 of us to do it. It was like the school counselors, the athletic directors. I said, wait a damn minute.
Athletic directors do everything too. I feel like that's another position that they're like, you have a title. Well, have you do it.
It blew my mind.
I am shocked. Anna, we've been recording. This is our 36th episode. This is the worst shit I have ever heard, ever read, ever reacted to. Nobody can top this. This is insane.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Again, we had to do it within 3 minutes. We would be timed and he'd be like, 3:04, we got to do it again. We got to run it again. And I'm like, I'm just trying to like fucking be a school counselor.
You were like,
y'all.
I have 200 unread emails. If we could relax with this obstacle course, that should not be my job to begin with.
Correct. And I was like, wait. I said, there are a lot of times that I'm in a school counseling session during the day and I have my radio down because I don't want to have the radio blabbing.
The kid's like, my parents are getting divorced. And the radio is like, there's been throw up in the blue hallway. There's been throw up in the blue hallway.
Yes. And I'm just like, that's enough. Like, I can't even tell you the amount of times I've been in like really intimate conversations and just the most bogus shit goes over the radio. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, like, what? And I was like, how am I going to hear this? How am I going to hear this alert? And they were like, well, that's why you also have the alert on your phone. And I said, I'm not texting while I'm in a counseling
You're
session.
like, yeah, so what were you saying about your eating disorder? Twitter's great right now. Have you seen it today?
It was fucking absurd, dude. Another crazy thing that occurred with me when I became the director of the department. So I was kind of saying this to Fraz earlier. It's like school counselors are in this weird position where you are most definitely undervalued, underpaid. You're on a teacher contract. A lot of even teachers don't know. Like I was on a teacher contract and I was on the teacher pay scale, but my job required a master's degree in Indiana. So my job requires a master's degree. I can't do it without it. Yet I'm still on that pay scale, even though it's a required master's level position.
You're also security.
I'm literally wearing many hats. I'm like, what is going on? But I would get frustrated because I would also then have to like be in on the admin stuff. So like we had weekly meetings every week on Mondays. My contract time starts at 7:15 a.m. These meetings were scheduled by my principal at 6:30 in the morning every Monday. I said, wait a second. I was like, you want me to show up 45 minutes before my contract time just because all y'all three are on a 6-figure salary and think you guys can and do this, right? Because when are we going to have time to do it? This is the only time we can do it. I'm like, this is free labor for me.
I mean, you really are treated like admin and a lot of the times.
We're treated like a cheap admin.
Yeah.
We're cheap admin.
Like if you could do admin decision-making responsibilities and hours, but then if you could have the teacher pay, that would be great for us. Hope that's cool with you. We'll move forward.
It was ridiculous.
Last year, I always say this, I've always had really good admin. Like, I feel like #blessed. Shout out, hi, I know you're listening. I love you. So last year, our counselor is basically a vice principal. Like, I was like confused for a second because I was like, is he assistant principal? Is he what? And they were like, no, he's the counselor. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's crazy because he does all the discipline and he like does yard duty and he's doing lunch duty and like all of this stuff. And I was like, wow, he literally does everything. Like, I just couldn't believe it. Many, many hats.
And if I didn't do everything perfect, it was a problem. Like, I remember when I ended up resigning to my principal, which was such a fucking power move too. Let me explain this to you guys. You're gonna
Tell me. I'm getting my blankie.
Okay, get your blankie, get comfy. So I took a Friday off. So I decided to quit during National School Counseling Week, which is just the icing on the cake.
That's way to celebrate, girl. Get it.
I know. And it happened because this was a Thursday, I went to do morning car duty because I had to do morning car duty every single day for 45 minutes, rain, sleet, sun, or shine. And there was a bunch of black ice all over the sidewalk. And these kids, man, were fucking like smacking their fucking
one after another,
like bowling pins, just slipping and sliding all over the place.
And I'm radioing like, can we please have salt out here? Kids are falling, parents are cussing me out. Like, it was horrible. And I get inside, I'm pissed, I'm like tearing up. I already had a day off on Monday that I had scheduled, and I was like, fuck it, I'm taking Friday off too. I'm taking a 4-day weekend, baby, let's do it. And I was like crying over the situation. And in comes my principal with this piece of paper. She goes, here. And I said, what is this? It was a requisition sheet from our treasurer. Said $80 School Counseling Appreciation Week. This is for you to buy your team something for National School Counseling Week from the principals. I said, you are giving me money, this requisition sheet, for me to have more on my plate to figure out what to get the counselors on behalf of you guys for National School Counseling Week. I was like, what? Like, I was like, I was just like, and she was like, are you okay? And I said, no, I'm not okay. Like, fuck this. I take Friday off of work. And that Saturday, I decide to quit. It was like an all-day event, deciding to fucking quit. I decide to quit, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put a calendar invite on my principal's calendar for Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. She accepts it. It says, Anna, principal's name, one-on-one. It's an hour long. I was like, whatever, I'll give it to her then. In person, I was giving her a face-to-face person meeting. She accepts it on Tuesday. Tuesday rolls around. I have my resignation letter written. I have it in an envelope with her name on it. I have everything planned. Like, I made this choice, and I was like, I'm a failure. I felt like a failure at this point when I was quitting. I was like, I either need to do this or check myself into a hospital. That's kind of where I was. I was like, I'm done. 1:30 rolls around on Tuesday. She doesn't show up to our meeting, my principal. And so I'm like, that's fine. I'll give her a little bit. 15 minutes rolls around. It's 1:45. She still doesn't show up. I get a text from her saying, hey, I'm on my way. I'll be there soon. There was this little emergency with a teacher. I said, yeah, that's fine. Not a big deal. 2:00 rolls around. Still not here. 2:30 rolls around. Still not here. I'm like, okay, I guess she's just not going to come. She keeps saying she's on her way, still doesn't show up. Like, at this point, just like, tell me you're not coming.
I think it's not that big of a deal. So fucking disrespectful, and that's my pet peeve that leaders do, is that they will be aggressively late to meetings when I think
just cancel it. Just cancel it.
Not to be on the wrong side of history and defend the bad person, but I feel like I've seen a lot of leaders where they're like trying to do too much at once, and they're like, I'm coming. And they don't realize that it would actually be so much kinder and more respectful to just say, I'm getting pulled in too many directions. We need to reschedule so that I can give you the attention you deserve. Because that is so much more validating than just, I'm coming.
And trust me, like, I gave this person a lot of compassion. I was very kind. Like, I was like, whatever, dismissal happens, bus dismissal. I'm out at bus dismissal duty because that's another thing I had to do. And she's out there, so she made it out for bus dismissal duty. And she follows me into my office after dismissal. All the kids are out. She follows me into my office. And she goes, okay, it's 3:13. I have another meeting at 3:15. That's what she said. I have another meeting at 3:15. So you have 2 minutes. Do you just want to reschedule? That's what she told me. And I looked at her and I said, and I had like tears in my eyes. I said, no, actually, I don't want to reschedule. Like, I'm resigning. I'm not doing well. She goes, what do you mean you're resigning? Like, from your director job, from your school counseling job? And I said, all of it.
You said yes.
from all of it. And she had the audacity to say, but why?
Girl, you.
The self-awareness that she lacks, it must be so peaceful in her brain. I have such social anxiety, I cannot even imagine being so fucking obtuse.
She said, but why? And I said, I feel like I only have the capacity to spin 20 plates. I literally said this to her. I only have the capacity to spin 20 plates, and you gave me 100 plates to spin. And if I drop one of those plates, it's like I'm the worst fucking person in the world. And I said, so like, I can't keep it together anymore. I'm done. I'm bowing out of this one. You won. I'm out. Like, I can't do this anymore. She asked 3 times for me to take FMLA because I knew why she wanted me to. She wanted me to take FMLA so she could say, it's like, oh, well, Anna's just having a mental health problem. Like, you know, she needed to take some time off. And I said, no, I'm not taking FMLA. And she said, well, if you're resigning, then I need a letter of resignation. And I said, right here you go. And she goes, oh, you've thought about this.
Yeah, I had hours waiting for the meeting in addition to my whole life.
Yes. And I was like, yes, the degree that I spent 6 years to get, and I'm an $80,000 worth of student loan debt over, I'm quitting. And yes, I put some thought into it. You know, like I understand what I'm doing. So I gave her the letter and she goes, well, I'm not going to send this to HR until Friday, just in case you change your mind.
No, the clock started now.
I said, what are the laws behind that, my friend? Like, I don't think you can.
If you are ever writing a resignation letter, make sure to date it.
I did, yes. Date your resignation letter. And I only gave 2 weeks notice. I gave 2 weeks notice. So I knew it was shitty, and I didn't mean to be shitty,
That's
right?
Not shitty. Like, shitty would be if you were like, bye, my Uber's here. And then just like.
Which we also support, by the way.
Yes. And here's the thing is I support it too, because as soon as I put in my 2 weeks, it was as if I'd never existed. It was as if I never existed. And I said,
we're a family. You can't be replaced. Psych.
They're a family the way that polygamists are, like polygamist cults are a family, where if you do something wrong, you get banished from it.
We haven't had a Sister Wives reference in weeks.
Like, they're a family in that sense. Like the FLDS families, where if, like, you wear a tank top, your dad will never talk to you again. Like, we're a family like that.
That was exactly it. Like, this is the same principal, too, who, like, called me into her office one time because I was on a dating app. And it was inappropriate of me to be on a dating app. I was like, I am 24 years old at the time. I was like, I'm on a dating app.
I put my teacher Amazon wishlist on my dating app when I was single. I was working for y'all.
She was like, you really have to understand what first impressions you give off.
I hope I give off that I'm really sexy and fun. Thanks for your concern.
I was like, like, sorry, I don't know. But yeah, it was really uncomfortable. They didn't talk to me. Like, my principals did not talk to me for my last 2 weeks. Silent treatment. Like, did not talk to me. It was very interesting. And then my last day was so fucking surreal. It was like a blur. But my last day, all these little kids are like, they're crying, and it's really sad. Like, I've had some of these students as a school counselor for 3 years because I would loop with them. So it was really, really hard. And I was really trying to figure out at the time how I was going to navigate saying goodbye to my principal and being like, what's the last conversation I'm going to have? Like, I don't know what that's even going to look like. She's avoiding me. It was very clear she was avoiding me. And I'm terrified at the time. Like, I have, like, my confidence is in hell, right? Like, I am, like, really low. I was not taking care of myself. Hygiene was shot. Like, I was not doing well. So I thought, like, I was scared of her, which is funny because I think at the time she was really scared of me, and we were just kind of both scared of each other at the time. Because on my last day, she didn't talk to me until the very end of the day after dismissal. I'm talking to our front office staff members, our school nurse. I'm crying, they're crying. It's really sad. Like, I was around these people for 5 years. Like, it's really, really hard. And I hear my principal say my name. She says, Anna. And I'm like, well, I'll be damned. She wants to have a conversation with me, which is great, you know? And she said it in a very positive way. And I was like, I said her name, but she couldn't see me. She was down the hall. And she said, oh, good. I'm just making sure you're still here. And she said, as I'm carrying all my stuff out, my last of my belongings, saying goodbye to my office, like all this stuff, she said, did you send that 504 to that parent the other day? And I said, yeah, I sent that to the parent. Did you give her a due date to sign it? Yes, I gave her a due date to sign it. Did she give it back to you yet? No. Not yet. And the front office staff in front of me, they were shocked. I think that's when they realized, oh shit, this girl was like psychologically tortured by this person, because like the audacity that this, like, I was like, huh. And even then, I said, I'm not going to let that be the last conversation I have with her. And I went to her office. I waited in line because she had a couple other teachers that were talking to her about something. I don't even know. And I have all my bags with me. And she stands up and she goes, well, I have to go. She's like acting really neurotic. And I'm just carrying all my stuff. And I said, I just want to thank you for all the time that you gave. Like, I was just like trying to like get anything
just
from
like
her.
a semblance of a professional conversation. You're like, just give me a handshake and it's nice, but it's been nice working with you and we can move on.
It was so weird, guys. It was so weird. And she gave me this like side hug and says, you know I love you, right? And I said, okay. What? Like, I was like, okay. And she was like, you're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then I walked out of the building for the last time and I immediately hyperventilated. I couldn't breathe. I was like finally free. Like, it felt like such a hell for me that I was like, I'm fine. I escaped. I got out of this. Like, it was bad, dude. But yeah, no, she was trying to have the last conversation of us be like, did you send that 504? I was like,
I can't believe that.
It was pretty sad. I'm like, it's a really sad experience. And I know, like, I talk shit about my administration indirectly a lot on my TikTok, but I also know that they're also victims to this system that we're all in, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, they were once in this exact same place and they just played the game well enough to eventually get into a principal role, and where they're finally making six figures, which they've always probably deserved. I don't know. It's just so hard. And I still have compassion for people, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I was stressed too, and I was a leader too, and I still didn't treat my team like that. Like, she had a responsibility to me as a department chair to make sure that I was good. And she like made sure I was really not good.
So you think they like hardened themselves because it's like a protective thing, that they were like, I can't care about everything and everyone, so I just care about nobody? Like,
I think so. You almost had to. It was hard for me to even rationalize the behavior because I would never do that. Like, if somebody came to me and said, hey, I need to quit this job that I love because I want to kill myself, and I'm feeling this way because of my caseload, and I can't do this perfectly, and it's either going to be a kid or me. Like, I can't do this. For her to just like not be interested in even having a conversation, like even my resignation conversation, we were standing up the whole time. She never sat down. She kept saying she wanted to leave, and I was like, okay, like, I don't know. It was a very surreal situation, and sometimes I feel guilty talking about kind of my experiences on TikTok, but I do it in a way to hopefully try to like inform people. Like, this is something not good is happening, y'all. Like,
I think that you sharing your experience is so important, because I mean, first of all, I'm so sorry that you went through all of that, because nobody should have to, and that's not right at all. But I do think that like when you're in that level of shitstorm, it can feel like it's all your fault and you're so low that you're like really struggling. And when people are in that place, just hearing your experience in a way that's like, okay, I went through this and it's not okay, and here's where I am now, that can actually be really empowering for others. And I think that it's important. I don't know. I'm really proud of you for sharing it and having the courage to do so, because that shit's not easy, especially when you're gaslit for so long.
Like, I was like, sorry, it's like I'm risking my life to look for AK-47s in the fucking school. And like, you're like, why are you quitting? Why are you quitting?
Like,
so weird.
Did you not feel the camaraderie of Go Team Red? I'm confused.
Sorry, you're a part of this exclusive club. Like,
she was like, I literally gave you the highest honor, and this is what you fucking turn around and do?
You got a walkie.
I did have a walkie. And you know what the funny thing is about that walkie is, like, some teachers were like envious of my walkie-talkie. I'm like, please take it.
They
like,
are nice.
It's a status symbol.
It is a status symbol.
When I was first teaching, a lot of teachers were like, oh, they have the walkie. And I had a walkie at my hotel job, and I've never had one as an educator. But because I had one at a hotel, I was like, you don't know how bad a walkie is until you've lived with one. Because it took years before I stopped having like phantom beeps in my ear. Because I had an earpiece for mine too. So I was like, it seems great. Because you're like, I can talk to everyone so fast and get the help I need. But it's not that. You just hear all the problems so fast and what you need to do. And it's not fun.
It's not fun. And especially that last year, man, like the 2022 school year was my last school year. And I resigned that February. And my last day was March 4th.
Oh my God, twinsies. Our last days were really close together. I
Shut
can't
up.
remember what my last day was, but I remember my first day of my new job was like the last day in February because I got like a weird one-day paycheck. And I only took a week off in between. So it was like...
Yeah. So no, like the day I resigned where she was late for that meeting was February 15th. And then my last day was March 4th. It's interesting. If I go back and look at some of the stuff saved on my phone around that time, I actually have TikToks from both of you guys saved in my phone. Aww. I know, to like have the courage to leave. So I know.
Oh my God. You should have just
emailed
emailed the TikTok to the principal.
Yeah. I know. This is why I'm leaving. And it's interesting, like, I always get really scared that I'm going to get, like, you know, still to this day when you're in a gaslit environment, whether it's a work environment or a relationship, you, like, constantly fear, like, you're going to get in trouble. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to get in trouble by things I say, do, act, everything. And it's been shocking because my new employer, who is, like, I can't say better things for them, they love that I have a voice on TikTok. And I'll even say some things that are pretty bold and they're like, we want you to tell your truth, tell your story, do it. Like, do whatever you need to do to like be yourself. Like, don't worry about us. Like, we want you to be you. And that's why we hired you. And I was like, fuck, like, you know, that classic education adjacent, you know. I work for a tech nonprofit that is run by actually a former NFL player. His name is Marlon Jackson. He used to play for the Indianapolis Colts. But he started a nonprofit in Indianapolis that helps students in underserved communities get social emotional resources. So cool. schools that are underfunded and don't have it, we kind of go in them, give them a tool, coach their educators on how to stay really student-centered and get them those skills. SEL right now is kind of under hot water in general, but especially in a red state like Indiana. Like, I'm in Indiana and it's rough.
Indiana usually is not stereotypically known for its progressiveness.
Yeah. I've lived here almost 30 years in my life, so it's not known for its progressiveness. So it's a hard fight, but he's a really dedicated leader, which is great, and the organization's so wonderful. And like, I get paid a lot more than I made as a school counselor, which is kind of sad to me sometimes.
In the nonprofit sector, you're making more?
I know.
You must have been paid horribly.
Yes, I was paid horribly, and I will tell you, like, I won't tell you my salary for my school counselor job, but as the director, the stipend that I got for being the head of the department was only $2,000 for the entire year. Stretched across the entire year. I'm like, what a promotion,
it's like $13 a paycheck after taxes.
And I'm like, so you want me to risk my life, do all this stuff? I'm like,
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And like, for anybody listening too, I'm sure you get a lot of people that listen to your podcast that are still very much in education right now.
Or aspiring to be.
Which is still great. I always like to say, like, we need our teachers to go into the field because we need to continue to have good teachers, but like, also be careful. Like, that's always what I say.
One thing I want to say for potential educators is take a lesson that there's a shortage, and you can be a little pickier than you could be 10 years ago. And
Amen.
I know of schools where a principal has been like, I'm losing teachers not to another district, just to a neighboring school because it was better. So ask your principal when you're interviewing, what's your behavior management system look like? What do you guys do for procedures for this?
Yes.
How much planning time do teachers get here? You can be picky.
Yes, you can be picky. And I think the hardest part is this school district got me when I was still in grad school. So I actually got hired under an emergency permit. So I was 24 years old when I got hired as a school counselor. And then I got stuck there. Like, I didn't get picky. I wasn't able to be picky at the time because I just really wanted a job. But ask questions like, especially if you're a school counselor, like, what tasks do you have your school counselors do? What is their caseload like? How much is your caseload? Like, and also, like, Ask them how many staff members they lost the previous school year.
What a good question.
They may not be honest with you, right? But at least ask how many staff members left over the summer before you get hired.
Another good question is to ask, if you're going into a position, ask why, like what position you're filling, why they left. Because to me, it's like if so, and how long they were there. Because like if someone worked there for 10 years and then they were going on to a different field, that's not a huge red flag. But if it's like, oh, they were here a year and then they switched to a different school, it's like, okay, what's going on with that? Or like if you're filling someone that retired, that can be kind of a green flag. But seeing like the people that left, why did they leave also?
And it's really hard though, guys, because, and I know you guys know this, between building and district, is what you tell the building people is not necessarily what the district people hear. So like I had a friend who wasn't at my school, but like she resigned very much for the toxic work environment, and they put on her notes that she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And that's why she is no longer in the, and it's like, that's not why. Yeah. You just happened to use the fact that she was on maternity leave to then use that as the catalyst to why she's leaving, but that's not it. She literally could not come back because she didn't have it in her.
My admin got very, very angry. Like the tipping point that resulted in it, like, you can listen to the old episode and I talk about this, of me getting like screamed at a ton, was not because I quit. When I just said I'm resigning and gave the notice, no one screamed at me. But when I wrote on the official district form I was leaving for, I think I wrote like lack of livable wage, lack of communication from admin, and lack of professionalism from admin. And they tried to threaten me to change that form so many times just because of what you're saying. That's what gets filed at the district. So that no one wants that shit written down. Everyone loves documentation till it's against them. Now suddenly everything needs to be a verbal conversation.
People like a certain type of documentation, and it has to make them look good.
Delete the other stuff.
And that goes back to what I said when I said there was a 700% increase in student needs and they were mad at me for it. It's the same type of narrative where it's like, wait, like, why am I getting yelled at for just telling the truth? Like, you don't want me to tell the truth anymore?
I just still can't wrap my mind around that. It seems like they just were like offended by it.
Well, I think they were upset because I think I've been saying this for a long time. They had already had this information, and they just happened to be in the same room where I had building admin, district admin, superintendent, and school board all in one room. And so I think somebody got caught not doing something. I'm sure they told them, oh, they don't need any more school counselors. They're good. They're good. And then I come in and say, hey, and they're like, wait a damn minute.
It's so funny. Like, when people have a disproportionate reaction like that, there's always some secret that has been unearthed. Even like people on the internet or in my comment section, if somebody has a really big reaction, sometimes I'll be like, where is this coming from?
You're like, what did we touch on? Like, clearly something that's not this is going on.
That's how it felt. I said, did I just accidentally cause some drama? That's what it sounded like, because they were pissed. They were so mad. And then I got reprimanded for it that next week. Said I needed coaching as a leader, and that I need to learn how to play politics, and I need to learn how to play the game, and that like I'm young and that's why I need leadership skills.
They're like, the young people are saying the truth. If we could teach them to lie and not say things, that would be much better. So if someone could have a meeting with her immediately.
And I sent, after that conversation with my principal, I said, listen, I'm not going to respond to you right now because I'm upset. I was like in tears when she was saying I lacked leadership skills. And I said, I'm not going to respond to you right now, but I will think about this and talk to you about it. And I sent her an email and just said, like, you're allowed to be upset about the numbers. You're allowed to be upset that the needs rose. You are not allowed to call me unprofessional, and you are not allowed to call, like, I laid it out for her. She never responded to my email. And then we went on fall break. I drove across the country. I literally dropped everything, drove 3,000 miles to the Grand Canyon by myself over fall break. And all of my friends and family members were like, she's going to fucking quit. This is it. She's going to quit. And I never did. After that moment, I went to the Grand Canyon and came back after fall break. And she gave me a huge hug. How was the Grand Canyon? I'm like, I wanted to go there.
I got so mentally ill that I had to drive solo to the Grand Canyon, and you're going to ask me how the Grand Canyon was? That was a red flag, not a vacation.
Correct. And like everybody saw it as a red flag. Like after they saw, like I went MIA off social media, then all of a sudden popped up at the Grand Canyon by myself.
People, when they drive 3,000 miles to the Grand Canyon alone spontaneously, they're not doing well. I did that this week. I was like so stressed out about my job and like crying. And my boss was like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I just need a week off and I'm going to drive to my sister's house," which was a 9-hour drive away. And I've just been watching Below Deck on my iPad for 4 days.
I love Below Deck. Who's the captain?
Right
Who's
now,
the captain
I'm watching this season with Captain Lee, and where the crew is Heather, Raina, Frasier, that sad girl who just quit. That's where I'm at right now.
That's me. I'm the sad girl. That sad girl just quit.
No, I think her name. No, I don't think her name was Anna. I was gonna say it wasn't Anna, but it was something like not super far off.
Yeah. No, Below Deck is fantastic.
So if you're a boss listening to this and your employee takes an unplanned long road trip, don't ask them how it was. When they come back, just give them like a gift card and a hug and like take half their work away. And that's probably the best thing you can do.
How was it? Yeah, it was just so. And she said, "Loved your photos, girl." I'm like, I literally put on the caption, like, essentially, I put in the caption, like, "I'm not going to take anybody's shit anymore." And she was
the photo is you crying in the Grand Canyon
with a shirt that says, "I hate my life." Like,
I'm at my end.
Here's my resignation letter. Yeah, no. It took me, so it was like, 4 months after going to the Grand Canyon. 4 months after going to the Grand Canyon is when I quit.
It's like when you're really hungover and you just have to sit outside and reconnect with nature. This is like the career version of that.
That, I mean, legitimately. Like my best friend in the world, who was also a school counselor, who also quit, she was like, "I really thought that was it. I thought you were going to go to the Grand Canyon." I was like, "This is it. She's going to do it." Because, it was just horrible. It was a great year. The 21-22 school year.
That was a bitch of a year. That year sucked ass. If you've made it through, good for you. Proud of you, but I couldn't do it. I needed a break.
All three people on this podcast, that was our year. That was the year that ended us.
Couldn't do another.
It's the year that ended a lot of people,
man. It should be a meetup. We should get like a conference center and be like, "Did you leave during the 21-22 school year? We got a ball pit. We can get like a bouncy house and like a therapist and have like..."
We're going to do some healing. We're going to do some recovery.
Reiki, some sound baths.
The bowls.
Maybe an exorcism.
What's it called? The Rage Room, where they have like a bunch of old TVs and baseball bats.
Yes. I am dying. Guys, I would love to go to a Rage Room with you guys. That would be so fun.
We need to have a Teacher Quit Talk conference now.
We should have a Teacher Quit Talk conference catered by Chili's. The morning we have the Panera supercharged lemonades, and then we do bouncy house for 2 hours, therapy for 1 hour.
I'm going to map some shit out. I'll text you in about 4 hours with a plan.
This is my Fire Fest. Kendall Jenner's coming.
Meghan Trainor's going to do an apology on stage. Meghan Trainor's going to get one of those cash guns and just stand on the stage and shoot cash.
And then my principal's going to come out of nowhere and say, "Red team go, red team go." And I'm going to have to go.
The red team is planted in the audience. You don't know who they are. It's like dinner theater.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Anna. This has been literally insane. If you didn't like this episode, you need to take a look in the goddamn mirror.
That one's your fault.
That says more about you than it does about us.
Oh, God. This has been so fun.
I'm so glad. Thank you so freaking much for coming on.
Thank you.
We haven't had a counselor, so I feel like you're our final Infinity Stone. We've finally caught them all.
I was going to say, did you have principals?
We tried.
They don't like us. I'm on a 2-month journey into catfishing my former principal in order to get enough blackmail on him to have to come on the podcast. So that's our current strategy. No, I'm just kidding. If you're listening to this, which I know you are because you're a lover, not a hater, it's not me that you're DMing. You can continue to cheat on your wife. It's not me.
And with that, we'll see you next week for email submissions. So send us all your favorite unhinged emails. Don't send me shit typed out in your notes app.
Don't send me pictures of kids in your class. Stop adding those to the Google Drive.
I love you guys so much, but I need screenshots of emails and unhinged correspondence. You always bring it. So
we would love for you to cross out every identifying information, but if you're not techie, we can do it for you. So don't even worry. Oh no, Fraz, what's happening to you?
Something is haunted. Anyways, we love you so much.
Peace, love, and blessings. Love everyone. See you.